Okay, so this is a really simple exercise you can do to strengthen the lower back. If you've got any lower back pains or lower back injuries, I had 2 bulging vertebrae in my lumbar spine, and I used it to build strength, but also just to help realign the vertebrae. So it just brought everything back in, and this is what I use to just maintain that, because you never really cure it, but you can support it. So now I have really good range of motion. I can do most yoga poses. So draw the knees up uprightly. Now just so knees are flat, the feet flat to the floor, and I just want you to tilt your pelvis back and then forward. So drawing your belly button towards knees and then back and forward. So you just have this tilting motion where you're drawing up the pelvis and the perineum, the sex organs, draw them up and then you tilt them back. So the motion is all happening more or less in the lumbar spine. Try not to put much weight into the feet, so all the work is happening in that lower area, and the shoulders are just passively lying on the mat. Okay, come to stillness. Then I'm going to drop the right hip in a similar motion, and then change over and left hip. Again, using the hip to guide the motion rather than pushing it through the feet, because we want all of the work to be strengthening the spine, not the legs. Okay, come to stillness. Now I'm going to put that together, so it's called the wagon wheel. So it's basically like a wagon wheel on its side that's rolling to a stop. So starting with a tilt upwards, and you lift the right hip, then tilt forwards, then left, and you start to get this rotation. All the time checking in that you are not using the legs to get the motion, or the arms are pushing up from the mat or getting a rigid spine. You're finding that motion in the lumbar spine and with the pelvis and the hips. It's also really good for the pelvic floor. Okay, now go the other way. So I'd spend probably 5 minutes doing this, starting with the back and forth, then side to side, and then rotating. You'll find one side's easier to do than the other. So you're struggling a bit more on the side, aren't you? So really keep your focus. I close down my eyes when I do things like this, where I really need to work out exactly which muscles I'm working, and just make sure that the arms and the feet aren't being used. It's all happening in that back. Okay, awesome, well done.